Welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. Jared, Bob, and Jones here. So we got the three of us here for the first time in a few weeks. And you might have noticed as he just gave us the salute on the YouTube, he's got a new piece of jewelry on his hand. Jones is officially a married man. So how was the trip? How was Iceland?
Trip was pretty awesome. I think besides New Orleans, Iceland is my favorite place of all time. Yeah, I was texting you guys. There's like 320,000 people on the entire island. Is huge. We spent like a day and a half traveling just from the southwest corner to the north or the southeast corner. That took all day.
Oh wow.
No traffic. It's like the New Jersey Turnpike. Like their roads are like the New Jersey Turnpike times a million. Like it's just straight. You just fucking go.
So it
You
is
don't.
straight. It's not like when Ian was talking about Nova Scotia, that
Well, I
it
mean,
takes forever to get from one side of the island to the other because the roads go around the outside.
that's kind of like it. In this like kind of the middle of Southwest because it's like the biggest volcanoes there. So like you kind of go through like some switch passes and stuff. But I mean, it's just like straight. There's no like you're just passing people on a 2 lane highway. Like just the Wild West, but it's great. There's no traffic. The food was by far the best food I've ever had in my entire life. Everything
Yeah,
we
but
had.
you didn't eat the fermented shark.
No, no, no. We actually we ate whale instead, which is way better.
Yeah, so we
Which
can
was
understand why they got hunted almost to extinction.
I could definitely see that because like it came out. It was like the size of like a big sushi roll, thick like that. But it came like this stone grill, which was really cool, and it tasted a little bit like tuna steak. It was really good. And they had like this chili oil they put on it. Really fucking. Um, the food's incredible. Scenery is incredible. There's no one there. I can get behind
Nice. Now,
What is the deal with the pickled shark?
it.
Does anyone know? Because Cunty Chris's brother had it when he was there. He said it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, they said Gordon Ramsay's been there twice and he's had the shark twice. And he said that's like the most disgusting thing he's ever had in his entire life.
So why is this like a meal that they serve?
Because they hate themselves. Oh, and they also have this thing Brenovan. It's like a shittier version of Jaeger. Like it tastes like absolute ass. Like after we got married, the planner gave us like 2 nips of it, and it tastes fucking terrible. Absolutely awful. So they chase it shark, or they chase that with the shark. So
gross.
they're probably
Do
psycho.
2 negatives make a positive?
I think that's how we're going.
Yeah.
I think he was saying it's like the shark emits a bunch of ammonia. Is that why it tastes like shit?
Something like that. Like you can't eat like the shark right after, like it's dead because it emits all that shit. So they should like cure it somehow.
And then chase it with shittier Jaeger.
Yeah.
That's gross. So is it also like a licorice vodka?
No,
Isn't that what Jaeger is? Isn't it supposed to be licorice?
yeah.
It tastes like licorice.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up right now. But the thing's called Brenovan, and it tastes fucking disgusting.
This sounds worse than the fucking Swedish fish cake. I don't know. Sweden's got some fucking nasty food. Did we talked about this, right? The cake?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah, the cake
It's a 7 layer
fish.
of cake, but the cake is layered with fucking fish.
Yes. Yeah.
Never mind, like all they eat is fucking pickled herring and shit.
Yeah, that's gross.
So it's a big
fishery.
Like it's a big fishery guy in Iceland. It's herring.
With whale, is that a white fish or a red fish?
It was a red. It was like the meat was red. It looked almost like a tuna steak.
Interesting. Yeah, so it's like the tuna and salmon, not like haddock or
Yeah.
Cod.
tilapia.
It was
No,
really good.
it's not a cod. It's not in the cod family.
Yeah. Isn't cod not a fish?
Well, I think it is now, but originally I think it was catch of the day.
Yeah.
So any whitefish used to be considered a cod.
Yeah. But now they figured out what a cod is. They've designated
That
cod in
or some type of fish used to have a name, and now it's just cod. If I'm correct, which really makes like Cape Cod, like that's a sick name. It's a name for a place of a nondescript whitefish. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which that really defines the Cape. They're all like meth heads and shit.
Yeah. That's true. Are there still meth heads on the Cape? Have they not all died off yet?
Well, one dies off, another gets its wings.
Yeah. Gets his meth wings. Yeah. I mean, I obviously they made that documentary about people doing drugs on the Cape however many years ago. I just didn't know if it was still like a major problem or not. Because no one talks about it anymore. You would think if it was, continued to be a problem, it would continue to be talked about. But I'm also slightly retarded. So
I don't think people are talking about it because I don't think they want to think poorly about the Cape.
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most. True.
Yeah, I remember when the documentary came out, everyone was flipping out. They were like, "Oh, Cape's not safe." It's like this has literally been like they probably filmed that documentary like 3 years before it even came out. So in the last 3 years, you've been going there.
It's
But,
different.
Yeah. Yeah, but now the public knows it's not safe. Did you find anything out about codfish?
Yeah, so the cod is a species. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what it was back in the day. And again, I'm not really looking too far into that. But like there is like Atlantic cod, Pacific cod, like cod's a fish. Now, what it was before, couldn't tell you. Scrod, that is not one type of fish. That could be anything white. Cod, haddock, other white fish.
Scrod fish. That's
I-
the serious catch, really, of the day.
I don't think it's an acronym.
No. Definitely, probably an acronym.
Yeah,
Serious,
it's like
really
Dewey
catch of
Cox.
the
It's
day.
like, do you have any cod? No, we have this other thing. It's called scrod. Better than music. It's called schmusic.
So what other kind of cool shit you got in Iceland? I almost said Ireland.
Different
It's
place.
Iceland.
You'd
Yeah,
have been
different
one
place.
letter off.
Yeah.
So we got married on a glacier, which was pretty sick. Like it didn't register with me because I'm retarded, but like
And like, either unlucky or lucky, depending on how you want to look at it, that the glacier didn't fall off into the ocean.
so
Or the Titanic didn't come and hit it.
which would have the tour guide's like, oh yeah, so like we're just stepping on the glacier now, and I'm like, oh cool, we're on a glacier, cool, walking around. Like, I mean, this place is like the glacier was fucking huge. Like it was, I don't even know how big it was, but I mean, it was fucking gigantic. And we got married in an ice cave on the glacier. So each time they're saying like, oh, like we're on the glacier, like it still is not registering. Like this thing's not moving, like whatever, like no one's running into it yet. So yeah, it's cool. And then we're getting back after the whole like ceremony, and like, oh yeah, so you can see how the glacier's moving because it's forming all these rivers. I'm like, oh, you said we're on the glacier, which we're on, and wow,
Yeah.
even high for that. Like, holy shit, I'm a fucking.
That's pretty wild.
Now,
Yeah,
in that ice cave, did you find Articuno or how'd that work out?
I found his eggshells.
Oh,
That's
stupid.
Yeah. You
I
should have
don't want-
brought a mega ball just in case, though.
Is that even a thing? That's not
Yeah.
a thing, is it? A mega ball?
Yeah.
No.
Mega ball. There was Super Ball, Ultra
Ultra
Ball.
There was
Yeah.
Ultra, and then there was the Master Ball, but you only got
Master,
one.
that's what it was. The Master
Unless you
Ball.
went and got Missing
Missing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can confunded Master Ball with Mega Ball. Mega Ball is the fucking lottery.
Slightly different.
Yeah. One of them's cool and one of them just takes your money.
Well, actually, and one of them's only the fucking last number of the Mega Millions. It's like, oh, I missed the
That's
Mega
true.
Ball.
Yeah, that's true. The Mega Ball isn't even its own lottery thing. It's the last ball. That's pretty good. I didn't even pick. I mean, clearly none of us picked up on it until just now. Yeah, so you should have brought a Master Ball so you could have caught some fucking cool Pokemon while you were there.
I wish. And I guess the planner was saying too, like we're the only people that are going to be married in that ice cave because it's going to be gone like next week, which is actually kind of true because we were taking pictures out in front of the ice cave and I almost got a rock fell on us.
Oh, cool.
I can see that.
Nice. So they're just closing it?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to melt in a few weeks.
No, that doesn't happen. The thing,
Yeah.
no, global warming's fake. Don't try and come at me with your global warming propaganda. It's not real.
So I can report that the ice isn't extinct yet, but we're working on it.
So that's weird. So, I mean, I'm about to ask you a question on this, and you potentially have no idea. But this ice cave, is this like a? So let me back up. I would imagine there's ebbs and flows here, right? So in the wintertime, obviously the glacier is pretty big, and in the summertime the glacier gets smaller because that's what ice does. And so like, is that cave not guaranteed to be there next year? Like, is it just like some random pocket that happened to open within the glacier that turned into a cave?
Exactly that.
Dude,
Sounds like it's fucking upside down.
That's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
So you can literally say that you got married in a spot that like doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that pretty sick?
And it only existed like for that period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we went on another ice cave tour. Wow. And they said, oh yeah, this one's gonna be gone in a few weeks too. This has been up for however long. It was like, I think it was like something like that. But it was cool because like you could like you're going inside the cave and you can see like all like the dirt and stuff from like all these different years. He's like, oh, the tour guide's like, oh yeah, that's from like 700 years ago. Like,
oh damn.
Cool.
And then you show up and now it's gone.
Why I can never have anything nice.
Yeah. Did you see Greta Thunberg there? Was she yelling at someone?
No, everybody's actually super nice there.
I
Like,
bet.
they're really
I mean, they're descendants of Vikings, right? So part of that makes you wonder, like, they have to be like absolute fucking savages deep down, but also it's like the people that know that they can kill you are typically like the nicest, calmest people, right?
Fair.
Like you hear that all the time about in martial arts, like guys that are UFC fighters or like jujitsu guys or anything like that. Like the people that are really, really high level in martial arts are like cool as a fucking cucumber. Like they just don't get mad. Because they know, like there's like something that comes with that, knowing that you can just fucking kill someone, that you're just like, yeah, there's no need for me to get mad because I could literally kill you if I wanted to. So it's like these people are just descendants of fucking Vikings. So they're probably just like, yeah, that's fine. We're 6'4", and that's the shortest person is like 6'2". So you can fuck yourself.
I got a book while we were there, the history of Iceland, and they're like one of the only few like countries with no military because they don't have a military.
Interesting.
They told the U.S. to go fuck off when the U.S. wanted to build bases on their island.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's ballsy too. Like not having a military and telling someone else's military to fuck off. It's like they could literally just show up and start building shit. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. It was like during the time, like the Cold War, and the U.S. was like, hey, like, the Soviet Union's kind of doing stuff over in Europe. Iceland's like, yeah, well, okay, we're in the ocean, like we don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, we should check on, like, we need to protect you so we can. So we're just gonna build all these bases. And like, no,
And like, no, you don't.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta protect you. No, you don't.
Nope, we're good.
We're good.
We're literally in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. No one wants to come here.
Yeah.
We're not that big. We got like a really big volcano. It's always cold. It snows. People don't want to invade us. We're fine. We're content doing what we've been doing for thousands of years.
So now I just want to live there.
That's pretty cool. So they fucked up when who was it? When Trump wanted to buy Greenland. Remember that? He should have been trying to buy Iceland. He got duped.
I forgot he was doing that.
He got duped the same way the
Greenland.
Vikings did. Right? Isn't that the whole story? Like they named Iceland because it was beautiful, and they named Greenland because it was full of shit. And
Yeah,
they were
'cause they
hoping that people would go to
refuel.
Greenland instead.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. They went
Yeah.
like 3 inches off the shore in Greenland and thought, oh, yeah, we can live there, except for being gigantic fucking sheet of ice that forever.
Yeah.
And like, so we traveled like the southern part of Iceland, and like there was snow, but it was like as soon as we got back east or the back west, it was all gone. There's probably only like 3 or 4 inches on the ground at any one given time.
Yeah.
Like it melts quickly there.
Yeah. Well, it is also, I mean, not to go into a fucking full meteorology class here, but like I bet you the UV index is probably high when the sun's out, because in the wintertime, the northern hemisphere points towards the fucking sun. So they're more north, so they get more sun directly.
You just broke Scratch's brain.
Or it's closer. No, I'm sorry. In the wintertime, the northern hemisphere points away from the sun. That's what it is. But the earth itself is closer to the sun. So we're a bunch of fucking losers, because when we get summer, we don't even get good summer. We get summer, and the earth is further away from the sun in the summer than it is in the winter. But it's pointed the opposite direction, because the earth has a slanted axis. I think there's going to be smoke coming out of Datz's ears pretty soon.
No, I'm just not listening to you because I also associate the UV index with sunlight, and Iceland doesn't get sunlight in the winter.
We got a few days of sun. We get them a majority of the sun. There's only like one day where I legit didn't know if we were gonna make it. It was the day. It was the day before the wedding, and we're going to where we're getting married, and I can't see a fucking thing in front of me. Like it's white out. Like it's going like side to side. You can't see shit. There was actually it got stopped for a little while because there was a car in like an 8-foot ditch on the side where the crane was in the middle of the road. Like, yeah, we have to get this out. But like we couldn't see for like I don't even know what we're doing right now. And then
it's always good.
So we get to the hotel and we meet with the planner. She's like, "Hey, so hair and makeup, they got a hotel for the night. The hurricane force was, because it was hurricane force the entire time. They're like, yeah, it blew out the windshield. The windshield wipers are gone, and so are the side mirrors. So they're kind of freaked out, but they'll be here tomorrow morning." They're like, "Oh, I guess we got just called it. So we're not gonna get married."
Yeah.
But they showed up. They did not. She looked beautiful, and yeah, it was. I mean, that was crazy, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong, right? I can't see anything, but we'll get there.
It's either fine or it's not my problem anymore.
That part is very true. Yeah. So you're back and you're married.
And I'm out of the military.
Yes, and that's where I was going next. And you're officially retired, you old motherfucker.
Yep. 10 years in.
You're retired from the military. So give us a rundown. How was the last weekend? of your military career. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get that out without fucking laughing.
Uh,
I am a goddamn veteran.
so I knew they were gonna fuck me because why wouldn't they? Got 10 years in it. Fuck. Why wouldn't I not get fucked?
10
so
years
I
of
get,
fucking, they ain't gonna stop on the last day.
So I guess like for a reserve site, you have like your cops who check your IDs when you get on base, all that crap. So since our base is a lot smaller, the security forces, the numbers are a lot smaller. So like, hey, we're just gonna take a bunch of groups during like some X amount of months, and then they're gonna have to do the manning, the IDs, and all the stuff in the morning. You have to show up at like 5, and you wouldn't have thought that they would have just left me alone and told me go fuck off and never show up again. They put me on gate duty.
Nice.
Yeah. Old piss ass raid. Fucking suck.
As what, like an E6 too?
Yeah.
You're a fucking gate duty.
Yeah. Well, it's this guy's last day. Get out there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, like our officers and stuff did it the next day too, but it's just kind of like, I'm leaving. Like, what the fuck do you care? So I was all pissed off about that. And then later in the morning, I get this like paper. Some guy comes up to me like, "Hey, got a paper for you. What is this?" The fucking piss test. It's gonna piss test me on my last day of the military.
What a bunch of fucking assholes.
Dishonorable discharge.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy in North Dakota, and he said that's how they get most of them, and then they fuck them with their benefits. Like, because most people are like, "Oh yeah, like whatever, like I'm out of here, whatever." They get called back, and they have to have the piss test, and sometimes they fall positive, and that's how they fuck you.
Yeah. That's wild. That's fucked up, right? Like that's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
if you're still active,
yeah, that's fair.
What you couldn't make? That's my thing. Like you couldn't make it 2 more days,
right? Yeah,
shiesty, absolutely. Just fucking play by the rules until you're actually out.
Right.
Which I did it the right way.
Yes.
Like, I got home and I hit one. Like I got a couple hits to that joint. Like back.
Just get absolutely fucking roasted on Monday.
Yeah, so I took the next day off, and I woke up at 7:15. Went outside, smoked a J, smoked another J, ate way too much food, entirely too much food. That actually might become an issue later on, but we're gonna enjoy it for a week.
Yeah, live it up. It's been 10 years, so
I
you gotta make up for lost time.
Yeah. And then we'll get a little bit today. I'm a happy.
Do you guys have legal weed in Maryland?
It's medicinal's fine, but okay. I have the card. The infrastructure should be in place by July 1st, which it seems like they're kind of on track too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we'll get it, if not in July, sometime this year.
Was the process of getting your medicinal literally like, I can't sleep at night, I'm in the military, I need this, and they were like, sure, one weed card, here you go.
PTSD.
Yeah.
I just filled out a thing with the state to like grant them my provisional license. That went through in like 20 minutes. Then you have to go. So since you got approved by a state, then you have to go find a doctor to say, hey, he definitely needs this weed.
Yeah.
Google has all these fucking doctors. Do you want to be approved now? Like, call this number.
Yeah.
So I called one of them, and she's like, oh yeah, like, what do you think you need it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, my back hurts. Okay.
Stop. You're telling me too much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll just give you this license right here, and then like you'll be able to go go to the dispensary. So I did.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. I didn't know if Maryland had dispensaries, like if you could go to the store or not.
There's like 2 around the house. I'm not gonna be
Nice.
without.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now in Massachusetts, they're literally like fucking Dunkin' Donuts. They're on every fucking corner. I mean, you trip and fall on Route 1 and you find a dispensary. There's one literally across the street from my house. And then there's another one like maybe 2 miles up Route 1 in Plainville. There's one like a mile and a half south in Attleboro. And then there's another one like maybe 3 miles past the one in Plainville in Sharon. So there's within probably like a 7-mile stretch of Route 1, there's 4 dispensaries.
I think there's also one in Mansfield at Mansfield Crossing.
There is. Yeah. Yeah. It's over next to the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Which is crazy because I think Gardner has 3 dispensaries now. Last time I was back, they had 2, but they were putting 1 out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. Like I said, it's literally like a fucking Dunkin' Donuts or like a Starbucks. They're everywhere. Which is funny because I forget where I drive. Because I drive. Oh, I think it's when I go to East Providence. One of my
Sick.
clients. Yeah.
Nice spot.
Great fucking area, East Providence. Let me tell you.
That's the Pawtucket line, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It's one of those like, what's
Pawtucket's
worse,
fucking
Pawtucket or
awful.
East Providence?
They're the same thing.
It's the same place.
They're the same thing.
Yeah.
In Rumford, this is funny. Fucking Rhode Island native had to explain this one to me. Rumford is Pawtucket, but they just like call it something different to spruce it up.
Yeah. Rumford Pet is a place. That's where we get
Wannamoysit's in Rumford, Rhode Island, and Agawam Hunt is in Rumford, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But I'm driving through the shithole that is fucking Pawtucket. Take a right, and then I'm like at a nice golf course. I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is Rumford? Like, that's just East Providence. Or it's either East Providence or Pawtucket. I don't know which one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the same. I think it's technically East Providence, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think when I go to my client in East Providence, there's got to be not a dispensary, but I don't even know what you would call it, a grow house or a weed warehouse. I don't know. The place where they grow all the fucking weed. Because it's the same stretch of the highway in Rhode Island on 95, like it's like right around Providence. It's like just before you get into like downtown Providence, that it just reeks of fucking weed. And the first couple times I drove there, I was like, oh, the car in front of me is fucking wake and bake, right? Because I'm going to work at like fucking, I'll probably leave my house at like 7:30. Which is amazing, by the way. I love having clients in Rhode Island because there's one of them that's in Johnston, Rhode Island, that I can literally leave my house at 8:00 and I'm there by 8:15. It's fucking incredible, but that's beside the point. The first couple of times I'm driving there, I'm like, oh, the car in front of me is fucking, wake and bake, smoking weed on their way to work or something. And then after like 3, 4, 5 times now, it's like, oh, there's got to be a fucking grow house like right here somewhere. So, which I don't even know if weed's legal in Rhode Island. It might be decriminalized, but I don't know if it's like legal.
Rhode Island's deal.
Yeah. I do know they didn't show up for the Revolutionary War.
They're barely a state, so
it's fucking assholes. Delaware is more of a state than Rhode Island.
Delaware was our first state.
Delaware was the first state, yeah. It's true. It's where George Washington is from.
No, it's just where he sailed his boat.
No. He's from Delaware. With his woolen teeth.
It looks like Rhode Island. It's completely recreational.
Okay. All right. Well, then it makes sense. So
also have
right
three-
in shitty Pawtucket. It's that in between area of Pawtucket right before you get into Providence. There's got to be a big marijuana warehouse.
Pawtucket, is that where like they're doing road work on 95 southbound?
Yes, I mean they're
I
doing
would say
road work
probably not, because in
everywhere.
Rhode Island, I don't think they actually fix the roads.
Yeah.
Do they even have public works?
They've been doing construction out in front of the Providence Place Mall on that section of 95 since we were in college.
Has
Like,
it been?
I remember we used to go to the Perform Better Summit that was at a place like in the Providence Mall or like right next to the Providence Mall. And they were doing construction on that fucking section then. So 10 years ago, at minimum, they've been doing construction there for 10 years.
Because I've noticed every single time I've gone home, at least since I've lived in Maryland, that I've gone through Rhode Island and I've seen like the same exact cones on the same exact stretch for like a mile, 2 miles or so, right before
Yeah.
the mall.
Yeah. Yeah, they suck. Rhode Island roads are terrible. Their highway, Rhode Island probably has the worst highways in the fucking country.
They have
It's
tractor
got
trailers.
like overpasses that come at like weird angles and like highways that like
Well, how about the big
maneuver left and
fucking
right.
the big fucking left turn in Providence? It's almost like
Yeah.
fucking taking Route 2.
Yeah, yeah. You're
The
doing
problem is-
65 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you see a bunch of like yellow flashing lights, and you go under a bridge, and it's
Know what
this
those are
massive
called?
left turn.
Chevron signs.
Ah, chevrons, yes. And then you gotta swing back around to the right. So you take a big left turn, and then you gotta take a right turn. And people that aren't from around here, they slow down to like fucking 30 miles an hour, and it causes traffic. And then you get everyone fucking leaning on their horns. I see it. I see it all the time. Every time I have to go to East Providence. That's why I prefer going to Johnston. But yeah, Rhode Island sucks. Fuck them. It's easily the worst state in the fucking country.
Stop.
Oh,
You're forgetting its neighbor.
Yeah, Connecticut. That's true. Well, Rhode Island's in the bottom 5, just by default, right? Like because like I said, they didn't show up for the Revolutionary War, so I mean, they don't even deserve to be a state.
On the election special, didn't Dad say that Rhode Island, Connecticut are basically the same?
I mean, like, can anyone dispute that?
I don't.
I'm not saying
so.
no.
They're the fucking same thing. And Rhode Island's so fucking small that Connecticut should just fucking absorb it.
Yeah, I would say Massachusetts should absorb it, but I don't want that shitty state being part of this state. This state sucks enough as it is. We don't need more suck.
And it would just Massachusetts look weird on the map. You know, like the fucking
Yeah, it would look really weird.
just like the dick
It
chin.
would almost look like Maryland.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, with the
state design.
what the fuck is it called? What's the landmark bullshit called? It's not archipelago. It's like called something else.
Eastern Shore.
No, not the sound. It's like
just
no, it's like a thing. It's like called a thing. It's called a thing and stuff, you know? Which one of us has been smoking weed for the last 24 hours?
like the Bay Bridge attaches like mainland Maryland with the Eastern Shore, which is basically Delaware.
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. I'm trying to Google Maryland land formation because it's called like the largest something in the country, I think. Well, this is a really bullshit website that I found myself on. Fucking Christ, man. What's it called? It's called, I don't know. This is gonna piss me off. It's
Is it all?
estuary? Is that what it is? Is that the word I'm trying to think of?
Where like birds are and crap?
That's a sanctuary.
Estuarine. What the fuck is Chesapeake Bay?
I mean, it's a bay.
It is an
Yeah.
estuary. I was right. It's the largest estuary in the United States.
I didn't
That's
know
what
you
the
guys
fuck
were
it
big
is.
bird people there.
Yeah, an estuary is a partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water with one or more rivers or streams flowing in. What the fuck is brackish water? Does that mean it's a mix?
Shitty
of-
water.
Is it? I think that means it's a mix of salt and fresh water. But then wouldn't that just make it salt water?
Salt moves from high to low. I remember that.
Like if you have plain water and salt water and you mix
it's
them
just
together,
salt
it's
water.
salt. It's all salt water now. Like if you drink it, it's going to taste like salt water.
That's exactly what it is. I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. It's water occurring in a natural environment that has more salinity than fresh water, but not as much as seawater.
So it's shitty salt water.
Salt water like
Yeah, it's like diet salt water. Oh fuck.
so
That's so fucking retarded. But yeah, Maryland is the largest estuary with brackish water in the country. So there you go.
So you got
I
that
knew it
going
was
for you.
something. It was something. I'd figure out that word. So there you go. You got a meteorology lesson and a I don't know, what is that? Geography?
no
Does that
geography.
count? What is that?
Geology?
Geology? Would it be geology? That's rocks.
No, you know, did we do this before, or did I do this at work?
It might have been
Where
at work.
I said well, probably at work, and someone was like, Google geology, and I go, no, I go, geology is the study of like all the earth, and yes, it involves rocks because rocks are the earth. And they're like, no. Then I go, then what the fuck is the study of like the earth and like landforms? Well, I don't know. Like, it's got to be geology. It has to be.
So, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, geology, a noun, by the way, plural would be geologies.
How many geologies are there?
The definition is a science that deals with the history of the earth and its life, especially as recorded in rocks.
Yes. So it has a lot to do with rocks, but it is the study of the fucking earth.
Yes. So what is there something that is the study of rocks?
Geology.
Geology.
Yeah, but geology is the study of the earth. I want to know what's the study of just the rocks. Hey, what do you know? It's geology.
I'll say it's gonna be geology.
All roads lead back to geology. What the fuck? That's stupid. So the study of rocks is geology, but geology is not just the study of rocks. That's like some
What the
stupid
fuck do you want it to be? Why the fuck is that so like unbelievable to you?
Because
it's the study of
why
the
can't it be the
earth.
same thing?
It's the study of the earth. What purpose do rocks serve outside of being part of the fucking earth?
You can throw them at stuff.
Right, but where do they come from?
The sky.
Either earth or man-made.
No, sometimes they come from the sky.
And any rock that comes from the fucking sky fucks this place up. So
it's
therefore,
not big enough to do anything.
Therefore, it affects said earth.
It's kind of like how all squares are. Or wait, all squares are rectangles.
All dodecahedrons are tesseracts, yeah. But not all tesseracts are dodecahedrons. What the fuck? Yeah, no, I know what you were saying. All squares are rectangles.
Yeah, but
not all rectangles are squares. That's literally like philosophy class in college that I fucking hated. If all flubarks are xenars, but only some xenars are dipsos, how many flubarks are dipsos? Like, fuck you. I hate this class. I hate this fucking class. This is dumb.
Yeah, that intro to logic class, whatever they made us take, was the most useless class because even if you took what it taught you and used it in real life, it just makes you an insufferable asshole.
Yeah, what you're trying to do is make an ad hoc argument.
Oh,
so there,
well,
therefore,
that's
your
a
argument is
straw man
invalid.
fallacy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that argument is both strong and valid, or strong and sound. Like fuck you. Oh, I'm not really sure I have a rebuttal for that. You're appealing to my authority right now. Your argument is invalid. Like, fuck you, you fucking cunt. Oh, I hated that class so much. I don't think I mean, I must have paid some attention because I can remember the dumb shit that we learned in it. But
dude, my teacher was teaching himself that shit as he went. I could tell.
Yeah.
And so strange too.
Kind of like me when I taught biomechanics.
He's like, oh, I'm not gonna like learn your names. He goes, I'm gonna call you by Mr. or Miss your last name. So if you're not a Miss, you need to let me know. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
yeah,
just use the first names.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
weird.
Mr. Dadero. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a weird move.
So weird, dude. This guy was fuck. But dude, he was a philosophy teacher. So I was like, I actually feel like he's not that weird given the fucking baseline.
Yeah, that's true. I had like an old Indian lady that taught my class, and I could barely understand anything she was saying, and she was not nice. Like, I remember she would like call people out in class for like getting things wrong. She'd be like, how do you not understand? Like, I remember there was one kid, she was like, because she was putting something on the board, like one of those stupid if A or B and all B is C, like one of those dumb fucking things. And she called on some kid to like answer, and he was like, yeah, I have no idea. He like flat out didn't even try. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, how does this not make sense? Like, I just wrote it on the board. And he sat there and he goes, I forget her name, but he was like, Miss whatever, like, none of this makes any sense to me. I sit here every day and just stare at the board. And the fucking class just starts dying laughing. Oh, it was great. It was pretty great.
I think that was one of those classes that because Cunty Chris transferred, that was like one of his like last semester classes. And it was almost like, you know, with the professor, it's like, hey man, I ain't coming to this class. Don't bother. Don't try.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to call it a C and I won't be a fucking pain in your ass. Like, how do you want to handle this?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I'll see you at the final.
I did that with the calculus class my freshman year. Because I took calculus in high school, but I never took the AP test. So when I signed up for classes or whatever, like they put me in calculus. And I think I don't know for sure, but I think it might have been the same textbook that we used or whatever it was. I saw it and I was like, this is a fucking joke. I've taken this class already. Or like I showed up for the first class of the semester and like we were doing stuff that I had already done, whatever it was, like I already knew. So I never showed up to class. And like the professor like pulled me aside like halfway through the semester because I would show up like once every other week and then for the tests. Like I would show up sporadically to make sure like I would get the schedule of when the tests were. So I would be there for the tests. And he was like mind blown. He was like, you're never in this class. And I think I had like a B+ in the class. He's like, I don't understand how you do this. And I told him I took calculus in high school last year. And he looked at me and he was like, well, why are you in this class? And I was like, I don't know. No one told me not to take it.
I wish I had that. I took calculus in high school. I took fucking business calc and I almost fucking failed the thing my fucking freshman year.
Ugh. Gross.
I remember I took Arabic right before I met you, Dats. Or like we were like didn't become like really close until then.
I was gonna say, because bro, I showed up because you guys were there for camp. I showed up and you and Dickie were in the room. So
Yeah,
There wasn't a
like,
lot of time before we met.
like I feel like we like started like really hanging out like when you guys moved to Donardo.
Second
Yeah.
semester.
Well, I was gonna say it was also probably once the football season ended, because you guys were always gone. Me and Jaima were doing God knows what. Nothing. We were doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. And then when football was over at whatever time in November, that's when like you guys would be in the room a little bit more, whatever. And or even because I still remember it was like Trainer was in the room. Him and Jaima were playing the Tony Hawk. Like, if you don't get a 1,000,000-point combo, your name's fucking Todd or whatever. And I was sitting there and I was writing my psychology papers because it was like if I wrote 4 one-page papers, I'd get extra credit. And I had a fucking like D in this class. Like I cannot for the life of me. High school, I had a 3.5 GPA. College, I had a 3.6. Grad school, I had a 3.8. I could not for the life of me figure out psychology. Not once, not ever. No psychology class I could ever fucking figure out. So I had like a fucking D in this class. Same semester as the fucking calculus class. Doing really good fucking.
Yeah, your first semester
freshman year. Yeah, doing great.
Welcome to college. Here's a bunch
literally
of
sitting there wondering, like, and I was literally like, before I left for winter break, I was almost like, why am I even here? Like, I don't want to be here. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want, like, there's no point to me being here.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there writing these stupid fucking psychology papers. So I went from a D to an A in the class, and I think Jaimo still ended up getting a fucking D or a C because he just chose not to write the papers because they were playing Tony Hawk the whole time.
I mean, I had Arabic and I was hanging out with you guys, and I think I didn't go to Arabic for like a month and a half, and I still got a C.
Yeah.
You guys like, oh, like, hey, are you gonna go to Arabic today? Because it was like the Tuesday, Thursday, like Gooby class. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm gonna go. You guys want to play Pokemon? And then we just.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just known, like some class, like whatever. So at least in the phys ed world, there were certain classes that were only offered because it was a relatively small program. At like there was one section of the class offered, and it was at like 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I think it was just kind of like accepted that like you were only going to go like once that week, usually like on a Monday or a Wednesday, because no one ever went to class at 8 a.m. on a Friday because everyone was still fucked up from Thursday night.
Oh, I used to stumble my way in there, like as fucking bad as I felt. And the only reason being was just because of the way I'm like wired. I go, if I'm at least in the class, I'll pick up something from being here. So when I'm sitting there struggling on the test, like I can like recall something.
I make my test hard on purpose.
Well, and that's the thing is I knew the deal there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I looked at it like, okay, it doesn't matter how shit-faced I am. As long as I fucking drag my ass in here and he knows that like I'm here, if I ever need to fucking ask him for something, he'll do it for me.
Right. Right.
Like that's how you play the game, especially like now it ended up being fine. Like I never had to ask him for anything, or I never really had to like really get through it because I'm sitting there being like, oh man, whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, half this class has never even attended a fucking lecture.
Yeah. He shout out to Haslam. He came in clutch when I was in grad school. He basically saved me from like not completing grad school because the other professor who shall remain nameless is a fucking piece of shit and quite literally had a personal vendetta against me because I quit the weightlifting team because I got injured, and she was the fucking advisor. She was my advisor and also the head of the strength and conditioning department. So Haslam literally one day in his office was like, fuck this. Take this piece of paper. He like printed out a piece of paper. He goes, go change your major. He's like, change your concentration. He was like, change your concentration to individualized. here's my signature. He signed on the bottom. He was like, I'm your advisor now. It was like the fucking
Look at me. I am the captain.
It was like, I am the
now."
captain now. He was like, I'm your advisor now. You come to me for anything you need. He was like, fuck her. She sucks. And his door's wide open. He doesn't give a shit. He's did that multiple times. He did that when I was a colleague of his, when I was teaching there. He was shit talking her with his door wide open. Just doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. He's a tenured professor. He's been working at Bridgewater for like fucking 40 years. I can't fire him. So he was great. So what else we got? We got anything good going on?
I don't think so. To be
No.
perfectly honest, like what is like seriously, like what the fuck is going on? Like anything? Nothing?
No, I think the world has been relatively quiet. There hasn't been any no spy balloons, no train derailments, no I don't know, assassination attempts. I guess I don't know.
Like I haven't heard anything about any politicians. I haven't heard shit about fucking
Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive. The Epstein list still hasn't been released. I don't think anything really big is going on.
Have you seen the outrage that social media is having over the Chris Rock like final 8.5 minutes?
Oh, yeah, I have seen that. Well, I saw the clip on Instagram of him ripping Will Smith.
Why are people pissed off about that? Is it just because they don't have anything to do?
Yeah, I would say yeah, probably.
It sounded fine. Like the dude slapped him. Of course, he's gonna call him a bitch, or he didn't like direct bitch, but
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, he actually said he was the one person that didn't say anything to him, and he got slapped.
But he's the victim now.
Yeah. So, oh, actually, I'll give a shout out to Finn. I actually talked to Finn on the phone for like an hour before we recorded tonight, and he was talking about Marvel, and because he went to go see Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And he was.
What did he think?
He said it sucked. He was like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Because then I was talking to him. I was like, oh, I talked to Dad, and Dad said it was fine. And he was like, yeah, I mean, and he explained it and did the whole rundown. But I mean, he said like some of the CGI was off, and he even said so obviously when you watch movies, the suspension of disbelief is a thing, right? Like you have to buy in and just forget that like you're in the real world, right? That's the whole thing, suspension of disbelief. You just go along with whatever happens in the movie. But he made a comment, and this was fucking awesome. He was like, so I couldn't get past this one aspect, right? He goes, when people shrink,
this should be
he goes,
good.
When people shrink down to get to the quantum realm, if you shrink down so small that you're smaller than atoms and particles, how do you breathe oxygen?
He's not wrong.
And I was like, wow, I guess I have no idea. And he was like, yeah, see, that's where I kind of draw the line.
As you can tell, I did not look that far into the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. But I do want to give Finn the shout out again. So sometimes he listens to these or watches them on YouTube. So if you're watching, here's to you, Ian. But yeah, I mean, so I still haven't seen it yet. Jones, have you seen it?
No.
You a Marvel guy, Jones?
I used to be, and then the last Avengers happened, and I wanted to see the Thor movie. Haven't gotten around to it.
Okay.
I wanted to see the Doctor Strange movie. Haven't gotten around to it. I mean, I will eventually.
Do you guys have Disney Plus at home?
Yeah. It's just laziness.
Yeah, you're not missing anything crazy.
Yeah.
The latest movie, everything that's come out in the last year hasn't been awesome, except for, I would say, Loki and WandaVision. Everything else.
Fun fact, those are almost fucking 2 years old now.
Oh shit, are they really? Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So I guess I can say everything in the last year has kind of been either shitty or okay. So I think
know what's
the
funny?
highest it gets is fine.
I rewatched Black Widow the other day, and
I think Black Widow was good.
dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I don't think it needs to exist.
Yeah. They kind of fucked up. They should have done that movie before they killed her.
It's weird. Like, so yeah, so it's like, so she's gone. That's number one. And then it's like, okay, David Harbour is comedic relief.
Yeah.
Got it. But like, what does the movie do?
Yeah. Other than
If you want to tell me that if it
future
introduces
stuff.
Yelena,
Yeah.
you could have done that in Hawkeye easily.
Right.
Because she was in Hawkeye, very easily could have been set up. And actually, technically, it kind of was because Clint didn't know who she was at first. So they had to figure it out.
Right.
Or maybe he did. Whatever. Gives a fuck. And then Taskmaster, which might be important in Thunderbolts, just feels like the fucking Ryan Reynolds Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it looks like some big fucking deformed retard is like a superhero, like, or
Yeah.
an aspect of a superhero movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was Shang-Chi any good?
Shang-Chi's
No,
really
Yeah.
good.
Shang-Chi was great, actually. I just don't know if that was in the last year or if we're going on 2 years.
That's
for
probably
that
back
one.
to 2021 too.
Yeah.
That movie's good. I would actually make an effort to watch that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've seen that more than once, and it's very good. Probably the best one of like the most recent phases.
They're coming out with another one, like a spin-off of that soonish, aren't they? Or am I just making that up?
No, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a series, and I think it's called The 10 Rings.
Yeah.
So I won't spoil it for you, but it picks up where that movie ends. So yeah, I guess that's all we got. So it's probably about that time to wrap this bitch up. So what do we got? Mr. Jones, you got a final thought?
Have you guys talked about the Bruins in the last few episodes?
Negative.
Can we just like put a cathartic end to the season before like we have to get all like, oh hey, they might do something again, and then you get blown out in the first round or second round again?
Well, the worst part is the roster is built as a Stanley Cup winner. They're playing as though they're a Stanley Cup winner or a potential winner because anything can happen. The goalies are good. The coaching seems fine, and they're going to lose in the second round in 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like super unfortunate because even the Sports Hub is like really hyping it up too. Like the Stanley Cup run. And I'm like, this team is just unfortunately as fucking shitty as it's going to fucking be. And it's going to piss me the fuck off. Like they're not going to win for whatever reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because on paper they should, and that's why they won't.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll lose to fucking Carolina in the second round or something fucking retarded like that.
Well, they can't lose to Carolina. I have Carolina to win it all.
Oh, God. All right. So they'll lose to Tampa.
I'm going back to Plain Ridge probably next week.
Yeah.
I can keep
Yeah, should we just
teams.
bet? We'll just bet on every team except the Bruins.
Well, dude, if the Bruins are going to be 3-1 favorites, like every other team's going to have fucking value on them to fucking
right
to take it.
Right. And I mean, who the fuck is even in the West outside of the Avalanche?
Dallas. Dallas is the 1. Vegas is the 2.
Avalanche might not even make the playoffs. Last time I saw, like,
yeah, they're third in their division.
Okay.
Oh wow. I haven't been watching much of Western Conference hockey, let alone hockey in general, because with YouTube TV we don't get fucking Nesson. So
The
I was able to
Wilds.
watch the game last Saturday because it was on ESPN. But yeah, anytime the game's on fucking Nessun, I can't watch.
The Stars are legit. I saw them over the weekend when I got back from work, and they beat the absolute bag out of the Avalanche. It was like 7-3 or something like.
Yeah.
I mean, they're legit.
I think the Wild are pretty good too.
Yeah.
Finally,
But I
they
mean,
put it together after spending all that money on all those contracts.
Yeah, but you see, they did that like a long time ago. That those guys aren't there anymore. Parise
really?
and Suter.
They're gone.
If they're gone, they're fucking shells of themselves.
I
Yeah.
don't even think Suter's playing anymore. Oh no, I'm thinking of Weber. Sorry.
Weber's
Yeah,
definitely not. His
yeah.
contract has been just like fucking dished around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the Coyotes now. That's where contracts go to die.
Yeah, Suter and Parise. That's probably that 11 years ago.
Jesus Christ. No way.
Because the Devils lost to the Kings in the 2012 final. I think it was 2012. Well, I don't think it was 2014. But the Kings won in 12 and 14. I want to say Parise was on that Devils team with
Holy shit.
Kovalchuk.
Yeah. He signed the deal and he started in 2012.
Yeah, that was 11 years ago.
Holy fuck. Where's the time go?
I don't know, dude. Because I saw like Jonathan Quick got like traded, and I'm like, remember how good he was 11 fucking years ago?
Yeah, he was nasty.
That Kings team was stacked.
Yeah, it was.
That Kings team was stacked, and that was an unfucking believable cup run. So
Yeah,
that was my 12. That was my I graduated college that year. So I graduated, and that's when the playoffs were going. And I watched every single fucking Kings game that year. Unbelievable. I think they were an 8 seed too.
They were.
And Jonathan Quick just stood on his fucking head for the entire fucking playoffs.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster right now. It was Jeff Carter,
Kopitar,
Simone
Brown,
Gagne, Kopitar, Brown,
Justin Williams.
Justin Williams, Tyler Toffoli. He might have been a rookie. Was that his rookie
young.
year?
He was very young.
Yeah. Mike Richards.
Yep.
Drew Doughty, obviously. He was fucking nasty.
Martinez.
Adrian Martinez, or whatever the fuck his name was. Alex Martinez. Wow. Yeah, that team was nasty.
8 seed.
Yeah.
We also agree that the East is going to be an absolute bloodbath this year, right?
I mean, it should be.
Yeah.
Like every team
most likely, Tampa's gonna play Toronto in the first round.
Yeah.
And then winner gets the Bruins. And then theoretically, winner would get the Hurricanes. So Tampa.
Yeah. So Tampa, Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final. Yeah.
It's a big word salad for Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Rangers are kind of kicking around. Like the Rangers are a team that, like, on paper they should be fucking nasty, but they just can't figure it out.
That's because they have pieces, not a team.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a good point. So Scratch, you got a final thought?
Yes. Full Swing 2 has got the green light. Jones, you watch Full Swing?
I have not.
Okay. Well,
Me
they
too.
followed a bunch of golfers around. Anyway, so I made a list of who I would like to who I would one's unrealistic. Who I would mostly realistically like to see featured. One, Max Homa. Him and his caddy are like, they've been like friends forever, and they used to like hustle people on the fucking golf course and shit. So
it's like Joel and Gino.
Yeah, but like both
but
of them.
Like better.
But better. I think it's a little bit of a better story.
Yeah.
So even if they do feature him, they'll fuck that up. Won't happen. but I would like to see it. Cam Smith. They should just fucking interview him. Like they should follow
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
They should really fucking should. Next, Akshay
I mean-
Bhatia.
Oh yeah.
You know who Akshay Bhatia is?
Yeah.
So they should follow him because he turned pro at 17, said fuck it, skipped college, and he just got special temporary membership this year, like in this last event in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. He came in second in Puerto Rico.
So now he is a full member for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Jason Day making a little bit of a resurgence, playing really, really well. Plus, he's just like, he's decent. Like, he's a decent person to like interview.
Yeah.
Victor Hovland, I feel like the interviews would go well. And he's Norwegian, so it's a little bit different. Like, just something.
Yeah.
Something different.
Yeah.
Tyrrell Hatton, if you can get him uncensored. Tyrrell Hatton uncensored would be fucking unbelievable. That guy is a lunatic, and it is
I agree
awesome.
with that. Yeah, I would love that.
Shane Lowry, I feel like he's probably one of, like, if you could grab a beer with any guy on tour, well, I guess you don't get to just grab one with him. If you could get blackout
sit down
drunk
at a bar, yeah.
while he ends up being almost perfectly sober,
Yeah.
Shane Lowry's your guy.
Yeah.
And then I think like the underrated story of this, like Akshay Bhatia, fine, but like Ben Griffin is a guy who got his PGA Tour card and he's been like finishing good enough.
Mhm.
Dude was like not selling insurance. He was a loan officer. So he gave up golf to fucking be a loan officer. Said, fuck it, I'll go back, and got his PGA Tour card for this year. Like he did
Wow.
a year on the Corn Ferry, earned his card back, and now he's playing PGA Tour events.
Wow.
That's it.
So people that I have no fucking use for. Number one, Billy Horschel.
Yep.
I watched the foreplay video with him. He is the definition of average. Like he wasn't bad, but he was not good. He brings nothing to the table. I could give a flying fuck less about Billy Horschel. Now I don't think they will get him. Patrick Cantlay. Pretty sure the underside of my fucking nutsack is more interesting than fucking Patrick Cantlay.
I would agree with that statement.
John Rahm. Now, I think if you could get Rahm like unfiltered, he would be good. Him filtered will just be like PGA Tour puppet. Like I don't think you're gonna get the good John Rahm out of that.
So I have a little bit of inside info on that. So I listened to the Foreplay Pod episode with John Rahm. I told you about that.
Yeah, I listened to it too. Did he say he was in, or did he say he was considering it?
He said he'll think about it, but he said he was not interested in doing season 2.
Okay.
Because his words for anyone that hasn't seen it were, he knows that he'll be really easy to be made into the villain because he's kind of got an explosive personality. And he was like, that's not who I am. So I don't want that.
That's right. He did say that. Anyway, but I'm not even interested in him. So
Yeah.
Xander Schauffele. I don't think there's one interesting thing about Xander Schauffele.
Nope.
Nope, not at all.
Nope. He's up there with Cantlay.
And yeah, at least Xander Schauffele has something of a personality.
And weird, they're both friends.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
And my last one that I have no time for, Mr. Rico himself. I have no use for Ricky Fowler.
Yeah.
He did a good video where they played whatever. I think it was like 9 holes, whatever. So fucking uninteresting. Oh my fucking God. Like Bubby was talking to him about like motocross, whatever. He could not even be bothered to like discuss something even remotely like fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what color clothes he wears. I don't give a fuck that he'll have a ratty stash from time to time. I don't give a fuck what he does. Ricky Fowler is not fucking interesting.
Yeah.
And he sucks at golf.
Yeah.
Relatively, of course.
Well, yeah. So what I was going to say before too about the Cam Smith thing, I think there's potential because the door is open, right? Because they had live guys last year. Now I know when they started it, they weren't planning on, they weren't already live guys and they ended up going, but the precedent was set. Like they used live guys last year. So if they now turn around and be like, well, no live guys at all, then it's like, okay. Because the other thing too, well, I don't know how much the PGA Tour has over like editorial control, but
they probably don't have anything, but they can probably turn around and be like, you can't use our media rights if you don't make us look good. I would not put that past them.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But it's like these guys are producers, like they want the drama, right? So they might follow some live guys. So who knows?
I don't, but I feel like so I will really quick. When because obviously Cam Smith won the Players last year and he can't play this year. He goes, I might try to find my way back. He goes, maybe you'll see me in the crowd. Who knows? I would love to see him just like annihilated in the fucking stands.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be pretty good. All right. So my final thought, I am gonna go with the Outer Banks. So Amy and I just finished season 3 of Outer Banks. That's the show. Dad, did you ever keep up with that? We originally watched it with Jamie.
I watched season 1.
Yep.
And I did not watch season
2. So season 1 was really good. Season 2, I think, was still good. Season 3 was probably the worst of all 3 seasons, but that doesn't mean it was bad. It was still good. It was just not better than 1 and 2, right? Like 1 was really, really fucking good. 3 just couldn't hang, which is fine. You can't make all the fucking seasons the big hits, but it's a great show. Jones, I don't know. Have you ever watched it?
I was farting around with it because she watched it.
Yeah.
Watched like the final like 3 episodes of the last season. Fine.
Yeah. Like I said, the 3rd season is fine. There's some goofy shit that happens in it, and kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like with Finn, and kind of like you got to draw the line somewhere. There was some of that in this season that wasn't there in the 1st or the 2nd season. Or I guess a little bit in the 2nd season, but really wasn't there in the 1st season. So the third season, again, still good, right? It was not bad. But it's worth a watch. Like if you're out there and you're like, oh, I saw this, I don't really know much about it. It's good. Like, especially if you're going to start from the beginning, because you'll love the 1st season. And then, hopefully you won't go on to be disappointed with seasons 2 and 3. But just know going in that 2 and 3 aren't as good as 1. But overall the series is still pretty good. So I enjoyed it. It's always weird when I think it's weirder now that we're a little bit older, that it's a TV show. So for anyone that's like, what the fuck is Outer Banks? It's a TV show about the location, the Outer Banks in North Carolina. And it's supposed to be a bunch of like teenagers that are like going around or whatever. And I saw a little bit of this starting with the latest season of Stranger Things, season 4, I think whatever one they just finished up with. It's like, when you have actors that are playing roles that are ages that they just don't fit, it gets a little goofy. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm older now that I notice things like that, but so it's like a show about these teenagers that are basically on like a glorified treasure hunt, to boil it down to
it's the Goonies meets Laguna Beach.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to put it. But now with these later seasons, like because I look up these people, the lead guy is Chase something, I forget his last name, but he's my age. He's 31 years old, and he's playing a 17, 18-year-old kid in the show. So it's like, okay, like he looks a little bit younger, but still like you're 31 playing an 18-year-old. And like, you know, some of the characters are like in real life, they're 29, 30. I think one of the girls is 26 or 25, but they are all playing like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, which is kind of weird. Because there's supposed to be like an age gap between some of them, like not the main crew, but the other, like the rich kids. There's supposed to be an age gap there, but they all kind of look the same age because in real life they are the same age. And that's what I mean, like with Stranger Things, the latest season of Stranger Things. What's the Lucas? Lucas is in real life, he's like 22 years old, and he's playing like a 15-year-old kid, and like he's jacked. Like now he's jacked because he's a 22-year-old boy, like man, right? Young man. So he looks like a 22-year-old. He doesn't look like a 15-year-old. So it gets a little weird like in that way, but overall it's pretty good. Depending on where you draw the line, if you're like Finn. So that's it. That's going to do it for us. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button on YouTube, rate, review us if you're on Spotify or Apple. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook page Sarcasm Speaks. Go to our website, sarcasmspeaks.com. You can also go to the merch store, buy some merch. Jones got it right there. He's got the beautiful coaster. You can get anything you want with our logo on it. What else? What am I supposed to say? Oh, mybookie.com. Geez, I've been spacing on these lately. Thank you to mybookie.com. Use the promo code SarcasmPod when you sign up to double your first deposit up to $1,000. And thank you to grillyourassoff.com. Use the promo code SarcasmPod to get 15% off your order every single time you check out. And that's going to do it. So until next time, good night, everybody.